Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It's May the 7th, and we're looking at John chapter 19. This is one of the most touching passages in the whole of the New Testament. It's the trial and the crucifixion of the Lord Jesus. Chapter 19 is the crucifixion of the Lord Jesus. And there are many things that could be said about this passage. In the first few verses, from verse 1 to 16, we have the trial of the Lord Jesus in front of Pilate. Pilate took Jesus and scourged him, and the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put on him a purple robe, and they said, "Hail, King of the Jews," and they smote him with their hands. The Lord Jesus had a blind beating. They blindfolded him so that he couldn't look them in the eye. And they said, "Hail, King of the Jews." You know, it's incredibly sad. It wasn't necessary for this to happen. It was the cross that would save mankind, not the beating and the scourging. And Pilate sought for all sorts of ways whereby he could escape his judicial responsibility. He tried to get out of it. He knew that they had delivered the Lord Jesus simply because they were envious of him. He knew that Jesus was innocent. Twice he said, "I find no fault in this man." And yet they managed to get a conviction from Pilate by insinuating that if he let the Lord Jesus go free, then he would lose friendship with Caesar. Pilate wasn't going to ever allow that to happen. And so he condemned an innocent man. And so God will judge him for doing a great wicked deed, which is to condemn an innocent man. There's lots of things that can be said about a passage like this, but in my password today, I want to focus on something that's exceedingly touching. It's not mentioned a great deal by people when they're reading a passage like this. It says in verse 25, "Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother, and the disciple standing by whom he loved." Well, that was John himself. He always refers to himself as the one that Jesus loved, never giving his own name. And none of the other gospel writers record this incident. Of course, John was the one that saw it and experienced it, and so he writes it down. And he said to his mother, this is the Lord Jesus speaking from the cross, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold thy son." And he said to the disciple, "Behold thy mother." What the Lord Jesus was doing was this. Since his father had died, the Lord Jesus had always taken the role of the firstborn in the family. He'd always taken the role as the provider and the carer of his own mother. But now he can't do that anymore. And so he says to his mother, "John, he's your son." And he says to John, "Mary is your mother." And then my password is what's said in verse 27. It says, "From that hour, that disciple took her unto his own home." What an honour. What an honour to take the place that Christ had in this world. Christ had always been the head of the home, his own home. He'd always been the one who looked after his mother. He'd always been the one that provided for her needs, that comforted her, that talked to her, that was a friend to her. Now John was to be that man. John was going to be the one that would look after the mother of the Lord Jesus. Well, there we are. That's my thought for today. A simple thought, really, but one that's been a great blessing to me. I trust it will be to you. Have a wonderful day. Look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.